Hello, my name is Anthony Wall. This is my YouTube channel. You can refer to me as Romulus. This video is about secrets of language. All languages have these secrets that everyone missed since ancient times. Because other was defended as integrity, as the sciences abridged. For example, for the same reason, we're not supposed to entertain left abridged constitution. Overall sub rosa, and therefore active value treatments, opinions and theories formally that are being used to prevent free speech, which is critical to the reception of our fellow humanity on online platforms. That aware of that needs to be offensively pretending to be against what it's furthering, which is identity racketeering against people. We have people making opinions. We have the words and values like mental health, like depression. Like, for example, if you make a joke, like for example, you're inside of a place they're keeping you wait a long time, or if you're really supposed to, you're supposed to communicate. There's no way you could communicate except, in other words, people aren't treating people right, not because, and so they could have people pretended had communications that never do. We have each age of fact-cheating nature affected by a vertical and horizontal database racketeering method. We're all private, tied to the branches of government and the campuses were already kept needing to hide lie progressions. They already did so by using evidence racketeering methods formally in collusion with a whole bunch of other nations formally and private, and overt criminal enterprises recorded in collusion. Now, it's all right if people want to make opinions and things like that, but they're preventing the evidences from being spoken to demonstrate this. We have election spots, towns and areas, intercities maintain maintenance to lie progressions, which is vertical, horizontal database racketeering each age of campus, private at the same time. This is a racketeering method using, for example, sustained influences, interbranch, and other in collusion already because they're facilitated needing to hide the same sequence shifts. Finite, active, and progressive lies already formally in cases, already formally with databases, already formally with their mouths, already formally with just their perception, originally instilled, criminally foreign influence delusions raw. Criminally foreign influence to discern them as criminal insidious nature, as logic. Our experts originally instilled criminally. Now we have a whole bunch of misprision criminality. I'm not a lawyer. I believe this is the word. We're individually grouped and together. This is recorded anyway. That's what that means anyway. What I'm trying to say, individually grouped and together. Every difference, like men, women, private, interbranch, individually grouped it together as well. That means CIA, Weathersfield Police, other police departments. That means FBI, former director of the FBI down. That means their family members, the ones on and off Fox Hill Drive, associated FBI retired and standing detectives, whether regular police forms, military police families, recorded confessed involved with the racketeering acts like mail crime, wire crime, attaching people to fake conversations, forging names and switching names interbranch. They are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated uses of torture method since before they brought up torture as the word slash value with the racketeering here, where their methods forcing people to court with criminally with falsified police reports, faked recorded things by the officers and by interbranch family members involved with that. They have Facebook policing, interbranch Facebook pages, and the pages of intercampuses involved with racketeering with other nations, especially ones with doctors of psychology, recorded delusions wrought and criminally foreign influence crime methods and natures, actually recorded. See, now This is, we're going to need to report this too. They're lying about what is actually recorded. Now there is a range too from what is known and unknown from people like in Congress. Some people know that this is classified, this is not classified, so they know this is known, but they're but not by everyone. For example, known and unknown. I'm using that as a Rumsfeld expression for different things, but it's all tied because this went with us into the world, into each world war. We have nations grouped, individually grouped and together as identities, individually grouped and together that they can't defend, and what exploits that. And so, for example, while they're pretending to be against what divides us, because they need to pretend to be against what they already have, are already covered up and facilitated, which is divide our division. These are not politics. What they call politics is recorded delusions wrought, criminally foreign influenced, sub rosa, and constitution abridged overall self value. They are recorded criminally pretending that uh, Marbury versus Madison's means fake justice when it has no integrity originally still. That's because we had it entrenched originally still since before our founders' births, an organized crime method that knew how to keep nations individually grouped and together, forcing value treatments and counters to silk value treatments that are only capable of defending themselves, and therefore justifying through other motivations, nature's needs, and interests, positions of the ground, relationships with and as an identity of negative value, nature, progression as the nature, species, humanity's nature of volume since semi-ancient times. This just reminds an identity of negative value, nature, progression, self-maintained. Live progressions from each database. So we have states attorneys of Connecticut recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, also involved with the training of safe state police used to keep them criminally foreign influenced, and roles with the obfuscation of logic and of students' potentials, sickly distinctly, every single one, sickly non-distinctly grouped, and sickly distinctly, non-distinctly, individually too. Individual, grouped, and together are three connected natures of volume. So the secret I'm going to teach you about language, I'll do it in a shorter video too, but no, is each letter can't help but be a word, and it can't help but be a sentence at the same time. Three natures of volume bonded. That's because these 26 letters were revealed as sounds to have an identity of relationship to itself, which the self is. That is the identity that all identities of value of space value progression at once have, individually grouped and together bonded. Each complete person's individual identity of volume as an identity is simultaneously an unceasing semi-nature relationship to that, and how and why we have individually grouped and together, because we have an identity of that keeps that true and filling that nature of volume we are as forever nature. Only the extent of it is debatable. But here again, we have sciences, intersciences, physical delusions, criminally foreign influence, fact cheating nature styles, therefore opinions, therefore sensibilities, defenses of that, which is all right, but now we have no science, which is all right, but we have no free speech. So that's being not it's exploited even, and we're not being allowed to defend ourselves from it. Since I was a kid, people were attaching me to fake conversations and sequence shifts, and they were acting with that per their roles with evidence racketeering formally with the all parts of reception of that, and then into the databases, and with perception acting tied to that, because now you have to pretend you have credibility when you don't. The branches of government originally still. We have them involved with identity of the ground locations used for racketeering method slash S bond methods bonded, like town offices of Weathersfield, Connecticut. on and off the state judicial branch offices, on and off the state prison offices, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with database racketeering, identity thefts, names forging and switching, sequence shifts with whole groups, then lying about behavior of the victims of the schools with forced to be in collusion with interbranch criminal uses of the schools. These are Washington D.C. Trade Center, Pentagon racketeering acts, roles, and uses of databases at my campus, with their criminal uses at the same time of private campuses, of fire and medical campuses, training of them. A whole bunch of people on and off CCSU and locations next to them, like Normandy Heights and like Covington Street. Before I ever went to either of those locations, they were recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the interbranch and military racketeering with my town, intercities through them. People, when I walked by one time in a cafeteria, made confessions about a Charlie Bowes I never had a conversation with. Now there are other people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated a Chet Casper, and I don't know his sister's name. His family's involved with the intelligence community and with military and with private, like medical, involved with interbranch drug collects, identity theft, evidence racketeering, sequence shifts, uses of Facebook for crimes with child sex offenders, and then lying about behavior. And then they're forging names and switching names. There are a whole bunch of women judges involved with the child offenders with these people. Now there are a whole bunch of people on and off Two Rod Highway, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. They were first, and now are facilitated roles because they were first involved with sequence shifts with whole groups, attaching me to fake locations with areas acting afterwards when Interbranch was doing the same thing through time. They have a whole bunch of people typed to Mendez family, two men, Janito Mendez, Eric Mendez, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with falsified police reports, fake recorded things into databases with New Britain Superior Court and with Weathersfield Police Department. And they're involved with a whole bunch of other people who recorded, confessed racketeering acts, roles, and natures, also and uses of that by a whole bunch of foreign and domestic with overt criminal enterprises with FBI, CIA, and their family members. Also involved with WFSB that has stole me and other people to fake conversations, fake locations, with a principal sex offenders campus, also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated through time involved with the UConn and CCSU and people on Park Street associated with Alina's Pizza and some tiki bar. Now they're also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated a whole bunch of people tied to that with a Lance Cuddy and his brothers and like three or four brothers and involved racketeering with a whole bunch of other people directly and indirectly through a house/S in my area. Also racketeering roles with defendants of former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and with their family members as people racketeering acts roles with databases at the campuses I went to, even the ones they didn't go to, with the people involved with it. Now they're forging names, switching names, also with people interstates with this Justice Department racketeering roles with their patients and criminals since before they go in there. Now these are also involved roles with body dumping spots, real or made up for their training because their training's involved with racketeering. There's a Paul Vance recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with racketeering acts and methods and natures associated with WFSB. Also a Gowdy family. Also how they bring their women and kids into it with sick natures of crime acts and methods, and the forging names and switching names interbranch, making uses of confessions specific, distinctly and non-distinctly from and the way the church had and has roles with confessions with the child abuses here, recorded, confessed, and reported, confessed for the media, per their reporting, but that's also recorded actually true. And they're lying about what is actually recorded over Facebook. And they're pretending not to realize because they're pretending everything's about behavior. They have experts on interpreting behavior, pretending that using that as a method. That's a value maintained by an organized crime method that costs us a lot of money, but it's pretending to be about preservation of money. You know what I'm saying? Because we have liars as victim predators originally and still not showing how to talk because we have a Leahy family. We have other doctors forged names, fake conversations with me, various natures of courts involved with them, racketeering with trade center predicate acts, mail crime, wire crime, falsified police reports, attaching people who were in the trade center attack context to fake locations through time, uses of principal sex offender, a whole bunch of other sex offenders with New Britain Superior Court and with the campuses further with men and women involved with that. They think it because of their